The hardwood's not just a battleground between teams. Sometimes the most explosive conflicts erupt between those who should be allies.
James comes from behind and knocks it away. He's saying it was touched last by Denver. Darvin Ham not going to challenge it though. And LeBron really infuriated.
These are the moments NBA players went to war with their own coaches, when locker room tension spilled onto the court for the whole world to see. The LeBron Ham standoff, picture this. The Lakers are down, the tension's thick enough to cut with a knife, and LeBron James is seething. When Darvin Ham refuses to challenge what James believes is an obvious bad call, the king doesn't just simmer, he erupts. James comes from behind and knocks it away. The ball clearly touched by Denver last, but Ham won't throw the challenge. Flag. LeBron's fury is palpable, his frustration radiating through the arena. At least he kept his composure better than Marcus Morris. Already fuming over a questionable foul call, Morris expected backup from coach Jeff Hornacek.
Saw it at halftime, family friends sent the clip and was like, man, I didn't know you had this type of impact on people. So I made sure I acknowledged during the second half. And
when that support never came, Morris didn't just disagree, he absolutely imploded, creating a courtside spectacle that left fans stunned. The Greek Freak's fury, even the usually composed Giannis Antetokounmpo, has his breaking point. When a Bucks assistant coach crossed an invisible line with a comment that cut too deep, the Greek Freak transformed from mild-mannered superstar to confrontational force. The bench confrontation sent shockwaves through Milwaukee's organization, revealing cracks beneath the championship veneer. For Ron Artest, though, the issues ran deeper than basketball.
And now, Hansbrough getting tied up with Festus Ezeli.
His friction with Indiana's security wasn't just about authority. It was a psychological powder keg waiting to explode. The inevitable detonation would become one of the NBA's most infamous moments. Coaches. Losing control. Sometimes it's the coaches who snap first. Greg Foster's volcanic eruption turned his own Pacers, players into enemies faster than a fast break.
Matter of fact, Chris, they're separating them. They're keeping them separated. Foster and Goga. But Foster seems to feel like he's okay and can have a conversation.
The emotional outburst left players frayed on the edges, transforming teammates into adversaries in seconds flat. But nothing compares to challenging NBA tough guys. Imagine standing toe-to-toe with two of the most intimidating players in league history. One Chicago Bulls coach learned this lesson the hard way when he physically pushed a player, triggering an immediate reaction that required multiple teammates to defuse. The heat gets too hot, even championship organizations aren't immune. Erik Spoelstra, Miami's steady hand, found himself in a verbal war with Dwyane Wade, the very face of the franchise.
Spo, you're right here. You have to answer that question. What's the inspirational video you showed your team?
No, it wasn't about the video. It's just about an incredible group of men right here. We are the men in the arena.
When Spoelstra disrespected the Flash, Wade's legendary cool evaporated, creating a confrontation that nearly derailed the Heat's dynasty. While Wade eventually separated himself from the drama, John Collins chose a different path. When a Bulls assistant coach crossed a verbal boundary, Collins didn't retreat. He charged forward. Collins just needs to walk away, the announcers pleaded, as tensions exploded, bodies separated, and reputations forever altered. The Rondo Revolution words can cut deeper than actions.
Paul is saying that Rondo spit on him. He's upset. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's what he said.
That's what he's saying. You see Keith Jones, a longtime veteran athletic trainer, trying to calm him down.
Rajon Rondo, basketball savant, found this out when Rick Carlisle screamed at him like a child for changing a play. Rondo's recollection says it all. "I'm manipulating the game. I tried to flip the play to the other side, and that's when Rick was like, what the fucking you doing?" The disrespect hit Rondo on a personal level. "I'm a champion," he fumed. "For you to come at me like I'm some rookie that don't know what he's talking about, that's disrespectful." The aftermath? Devastating. The Mavericks shut Rondo down. With a fabricated back injury, sending him home while the season continued without him. The Mamba's death stare hate from a coach toward a star point guard is one thing, but crossing Kobe Bryant? That's career suicide. When Mike Brown failed to meet expectations coaching the Lakers' super team of Kobe and Dwight Howard, the 0-3 start wasn't the real threat. It was the Mamba's infamous death stare. That look of determination and disappointment all rolled into one was Brown's death warrant. He was fired the very next day. Van Gundy's rodeo ride, Jeff Van Gundy, proved some coaches will go to literal war for their teams. During the height of the Knicks-Heat rivalry, when Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson ignited one of basketball's most explosive confrontations, Van Gundy didn't retreat to safety. He clung to Mourning's leg for dear life, creating an iconic image of coaching dedication that lives on in basketball lore. The father-son feud, imagine having beef with your own father on national television. Austin Rivers lived this nightmare when Doc Rivers, his father and opposing coach, erupted at officials. Austin didn't show family loyalty. He pushed for his dad's technical, frantically signaling to refs, tee up my dad." When Doc got ejected, Austin twisted the knife, waving goodbye and telling him, "Call me!" Later, Austin revealed the warning signs he recognized from childhood. Once he starts blinking his eyes fast, that's when I know he's about to level up. Butler versus Riley. Jimmy Butler's conflict with Pat Riley reached unprecedented levels during the 2024 playoffs. The Miami-Boston rivalry turned personal when Butler, sidelined with injury, trolled the Celtics on Instagram after a rare Heat win. When Miami ultimately lost the series in 5 games, Riley publicly silenced his star. If you're not on the court playing against Boston or New York, you should keep your mouth shut. Ja's mind games for Ja Morant. Antagonizing coaches became psychological warfare. After celebrating a halftime buzzer beater directly in Nets coach Jordi Fernandez's face, Morant doubled down, deliberately trolling the opposing bench as the Grizzlies secured a 20-point victory. The Nets reached their breaking point when Dennis Schroeder confronted Grizzlies coach Taylor Jenkins, bringing both teams dangerously close to a full-scale conflict. After the game, Morant admitted his calculated strategy. "I was trolling just to get them riled up, and they did." JR's Soup Kitchen J.R. Smith's infamous soup-throwing incident with assistant coach Damon Jones wasn't just an impulsive outburst. It was the culmination of ongoing disrespect. When Jones pushed Smith's buttons one too many times, Smith's response was both literal and scalding. He threw hot soup directly at his coach. "It wasn't like a rageful throw," Smith later explained. "It was like, okay, you're playing with me. I know you're playing with me. I'm going to show you." The confrontation resulted in a 1-game suspension, but Smith's message was received. Jones apologized the very next day. Isaiah's breaking point. Isaiah. Thomas's intensity defined the bad boy Pistons era. During a heated battle with the Chicago Bulls, Thomas's coach begged him, "Whatever you want to do, take it out on me. I don't want you to get thrown out." Thomas managed his emotions until Bill Cartwright caught him with an elbow, drawing blood. The sight of Zeke, normally composed, ready to fight an opposing player while his own coach desperately tried to redirect his fury, showcased how quickly even the strongest player-coach relationships could fracture. The Williams-Sloan catastrophe. Some player-coach conflicts reshape entire franchises. The Deron Williams-Jerry Sloan feud in Utah wasn't just a clash, it was a franchise-altering earthquake. Sloan, the Jazz's cornerstone for 23 years, demanded discipline and system adherence. Williams, the franchise star, craved offensive freedom. Their friction began in Williams' rookie year. "I held on to that rookie year, not starting. I took that personally and held that grudge." The breaking point came during a game against Chicago when Williams deliberately ignored Sloan's play call. At halftime, Sloan confronted him. "You want to coach this team?" Their locker room shouting match ended with Sloan storming through the arena, refusing to speak for the remainder of the game. The next day, the team received a text: no practice. Sloan had resigned after nearly a quarter century. A week later, Williams was traded, both men casualties of their own stubborn personalities. Shaq, Pat Riley, even NBA champions weren't immune to coach conflicts. Shaquille O'Neal's lifestyle clashed directly with Pat Riley's disciplined approach in Miami. When Riley imposed a curfew with $2,000 fines, Shaq marched into his office with a check for $82,000, covering all 41 home games in advance. "I'm a grown man," Shaq declared. "That's just not going to happen." Despite winning the 2006 championship together, the tension remained, with Riley frequently calling out Shaq's practice habits. Shortly after, O'Neal was traded to Phoenix, ending what might have been a Heat dynasty. Spruill's chokehold. But no player-coach conflict matches the sheer violence of Latrell Sprewell's assault on PJ Carlesimo. Their relationship deteriorated over Sprewell's appearance. His braided hair and refusal to follow team dress code made him a target. Sprewell tried buying his freedom, telling Carlesimo, "Take $500 times 40 Walls away games. Take that out of my check and leave me alone." The breaking point came during practice when Carlesimo pushed too far. Sprewell warned, "You say one more thing. To me, I'ma fucks you up." When Carlesimo ignored the threat, Sprewell grabbed him around the neck while teammates reportedly encouraged the assault. The photos leaked, resulting in Sprewell's season-long suspension and a permanently tarnished legacy. Barnes versus Fisher. Personal vendetta. The most personal player-coach conflict transcended basketball entirely. Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher, former teammates, became bitter enemies in 2015 when Fisher, then coaching the Knicks, became involved with Barnes' estranged wife. Barnes discovered the relationship when his ex-wife's Bluetooth connected to his car, revealing Fisher's voice. "Baby, I miss you." Barnes immediately threatened violence, but the situation escalated when Barnes' young son revealed during a FaceTime call that "your friend Derek is over here" at their family home. Enraged, Barnes drove directly to confront Fisher. "I hopped the fence, in a hoodie and beanie, walking along the side of the house. As soon as I turn into the backyard, I see Derek with his arm around Gloria, so I just fire on him." The NBA's history is filled with legendary rivalries, but sometimes the most explosive conflicts happen within a team's own ranks. When the people who should be united turn against each other, that's when basketball drama reaches its boiling point. Don't miss another second of NBA drama. Hit that like button and subscribe now to catch all our upcoming breakdowns of the league's most unforgettable moments.